This YouTube channel is to help mechanical engineering students learn SolidWorks. My name is Elia Habib. I'm a mechanical engineer expert in SolidWorks. First of all, we will start our first part to draw our first part, this 3D part. This video is for beginners. This is my first video to learn how to do a 2D sketch, then transform it or make extrude in order to do it as a 3D model. Like you see here, this is X64. These dimensions are in millimeter, 96Y millimeter, and Z 48 millimeter. Okay, let's start now drawing these parts. First of all, I have created a folder on my desktop. This name of this folder is SolidWorks Training for Beginners by Eli. In this folder, we have the first part. This is our part 1 to draw it. When we finish drawing this part 1 on SolidWorks, we will save it in the same folder. Let's start here. I will launch here SolidWorks. We can use SolidWorks to create machines in the field mechanical design engineers. Okay, first of all, when I launch SolidWorks, the first step I should do is to do part. Here on the right, I have assembly. When I do many parts and I want to assemble them together, I create assembly drawings in order to take dimensions. So in our case, to do this drawing of the part 1, I should click on part. This is the first step. The second step here, I should click here on the bottom and put the dimensions all in millimeter. I had it on inch, pound, second. I should click on millimeter, gram, and second. Okay. To first create it, I should create the sketch on a plane. I can create the sketch on front plane or top plane or right plane. Doesn't matter. Let's create it on the front plane. I click on the front, right click, add normal to. This is the first step here. I have, like you see here, like a rectangle, 64 millimeter and 96 millimeter. I click here on sketch in order to draw the sketch, the 2D sketch. I click OK. Then I click on the arrow, this, and I click on center rectangle. This is the X and Y. It's preferable to click the center of the rectangle on the point here. I click and drag like this. I click right click, select. Okay, like you see here, this rectangle is underdefined. It's in blue. It's underdefined in blue. And they mean SolidWorks that this rectangle lack dimensions. So my objective now is to put dimensions. I have 64 millimeter and 96 millimeter. I click here on Smart Dimensions, left click. I click on this. It's 64 millimeter, and then I click here on this. It's 96 millimeter. Then I click on this arrow, green arrow. Like you see here, this rectangle is fully defined, so it's perfect now. It's in black because I mentioned all the dimensions. Now I should extrude it to make it a 3D part, because here you see that I have a height of 16 millimeter. So my objective now is to make extrude in 16 millimeter. What to do? To transform from 2D sketch to 3D sketch, I should do extrude. Extrude what? Extrude 16 millimeter of height. To do extrude, I click here on feature on the left here. Left click. Here you see I have extrude boss. Left click on it. You see now I have I can do the height here. Here I mentioned a standard height 10 millimeter. Here, like we said, we have 16 millimeter. I click here, backspace, and I mention here 16 millimeter, and I click enter. You see here it's 16 millimeter, and then I click on the left arrow. Yes, like you see here, we have now the 3D rectangle part. How to rotate it? I can click on the wheel of the mouse and drag. You see, when I click on the wheel of the mouse, I click on the wheel of the mouse and drag the mouse, I can see it, this 3D part. Now let's continue. To continue, we should draw also these sketches on this front plane, on this front plane of this rectangular part. What to do here? We can start on creating this cut. You see here, it's a cut. To do it, I should do left click here and right click on it. So left click on the surface to catch the surface, and then right click on it, and then normal to. Normal to see it face to face in front of me directly, like this. Okay, my objective is to cut this. How can I cut it? To cut it, first of all, I should draw a line here, then a half circle, then another line, then cut it. Okay, so easy. And so here we click on the line. It's important not to do it on the center here, on a line without click on the center. Repeat it again. Vertical, like you say, this is to see if it's in the vertical. It's preferable to see, like you see here, the vertical line in yellow. It means it's in this vertical position. The line is it's in vertical position. I click, I repeat it again. Finish the demi circle, and I finish it here and here. So now it's all in blue. I can re-enter the dimensions. I have 20 by 16. Here I have 20 by 16. I have also here 16. Okay, like you said, like you see here, it's fully defined. I have the dimensions from here to here, it's 16 millimeter. Here also it's 16, and here it's 20. Now our objective is to do the cut. How to do cut? We can rotate here by clicking on the wheel of the mouse and drag it to rotate it. Now our objective is to do a cut, a 3D cut. How to do it? Like you see again, we will enter in the 3D model here feature. We should do extrude cut. Like you see here, this is extrude cut. In order to do a 3D part without cut, we should do like we did before, extrude boss. Now we should do extrude cut in order to cut it. Okay, I click extrude cut. Like you see here, I can mention here through all, so it will cut it from here through all in the above. Okay, in order to achieve it, I will click on the arrow, green arrow. So it's done. Like you see here, we have now the cut. It's preferable to save it. Okay, save it like we said, and save it on the desktop here. SolidWorks training by Eli. SolidWorks training for beginner by Eli. And then open, and then part one, and then save. Okay, now we have saved version. So let's continue here. We can draw now this part here. Okay, let's create it. Here, like you said, we can draw a rectangle of a height 48 millimeter from this surface here, and of width 16 millimeter. 16 millimeter of 48 millimeter. 16 millimeter of 48 millimeter. So, like I did now, I click on this face, left click, then right click on it, then normal to in order to have the normal position. Then the next step is to do sketch. Click on sketch. Click on here on sketch also. Click also on sketch again, and then click left click on this face, because this face I want to draw this sketch on this face. Left click another. So now my sketch, like you see, is on this face. I should do now draw a rectangle of height 48 millimeter and 16 millimeter. Rectangle, corner rectangle. It's better to do corner rectangle here. I click on corner. Like you see here, when I have this point, it's the corner, the point of the corner. I can click here and drag it and release it here and click it here on the edge. Like you see here, we have the coincident mark. It means it will coincident on the edge. I click here, okay, then I click enter. So now the width here is 16. So what to do? Smart dimension, the distance from here to here is 16 millimeter. I click again, then right here, type 16 millimeter. Then our objective is to do a height of 48 millimeter. Then I will do extrude 48 millimeter. I click enter here, feature, extrude. I can rotate here, like you see. This is the yellow where I can extrude. I can use this arrow to do the 48 millimeter. Like you see, arrow down, arrow up. My objective is to do it 48 millimeters, so I drag here and I write 48 millimeter. Enter, save. Okay, you see here there is very important part. We should do here a radius of 32. How to do the radius of 32? When we have two perpendicular faces like this, two perpendicular faces, the best way to do the radius 32 here, the circle of radius 32, it's the easiest way and the fastest way is to do the fillet. Like you see here, because I want to do fillet of a 3D part, so I will enter here on the future. Let's repeat again. Everything related to 3D part, it's in the features here. Everything related to 2D part, it's in the sketch here. So on the feature here, I want to do the fillet. The fillet is radius 32. Radius 32, I click here on the fillet. Okay, like you see here, I have many options of fillet. My objective is to do the fillet of the edge here. Like you see here, it's in the blue. It means it's the edge of the perpendicular. It means this, the edge of the perpendicular. So it's ready here. Items to fillet, I just click here. You see here, it has transformed. But I have here a radius of 32 millimeter. So I click here on the radius, not 10, it's a radius here. I put it 32 millimeter and then I click on yes. Like you see, it exists. And then to achieve it, I should click another time yes on the green arrow. So now I obtained this fillet of radius 32 millimeter. Let's continue here. It's better to save it again. So now let's draw this cube, for example. It's also like you see here, it's like a rectangle. Distance from here 22, width is 48, and height is 28 millimeter. So let's start, and it's on the edge here, on the edge of this. So let's draw it 40 millimeter, for example, normal 2. like again right click here, because I want to do the sketch on this face. It's better to right click on this face and then normal to, then sketch, sketch, draw a rectangle again, corner rectangle to this point. Okay, this is 22 millimeter. So smart dimensions from here to here, it's 22 millimeter. Okay, now it's 22 millimeter. Let's open the, okay, it's 22 millimeter and it's 40 millimeter here. The distance of here is smart dimensions also 40 millimeter. Okay, we obtained it's 22 and by 40. Okay, what is the height here? Like we see, the height of this rectangular cube is 28 millimeters. So what to do? Like we did before, extrude boss 28 millimeter. So now, like to say, you see, it's fully defined. The sketch is fully defined. It means all my dimensions are inserted, and it's perfect now. Now it's let's do extrude 28 millimeter feature extrude extrude. Now we should insert it instead of 48. It's 28 millimeter. Enter, and then on the arrow. Okay, we obtain this cube. Okay, of course we should uh, update this cube to do this cut, the half circle cut. What to do in this case? I click save here, right click, normal to. I can rotate it here, right click normal. I can click alt and left arrow on the keyboard, left arrow or right arrow in order to make it normal also. So my objective is to do a circle. This circle, like you see here, it has a diameter of 24 millimeter. And this circle is 8 millimeter from this here. So we can click on the circle on it, sketch, left click on this, circle, center circle. Maybe it's not in the circle. Let's draw it not in the center. Maximum, and the when we finish, we can update the measure. Like here on the coincident, I click left click and drag. We have now the circle. Right click, select. The circle should be 24 millimeter of diameter. I click here smart dimension. I click also here left click and the 24 millimeter of dimensions. Okay, and now it should be 8 millimeter from 8. Here we have 40. 40 minus 24, 40 millimeter minus 24, divide per 2 to see it if it's in the center. We click here 40 on the calculator minus 24 equals 16, divide by 2, it's equal 8. So it's perfectly in the center here. We can, so because it's in the center, we can click on the center here of the circle, here on the select. We can click here on the center of the circle and drag it to the center. Okay, you see here it's drag on this line. Where to see where is the mid of this line? Like you see here, the yellow dot here, it's, or the yellow small rectangle is the center of this line, of the midpoint of the line. I drag it until it will coincident with the midpoint, and now it's fully defined, like you see here. And now my objective is to do extrude cut in order to cut all of this. I click on here on feature and click like we said here, because I want to do the cut here from this to this. I click here on extrude cut, and now like you see it's not cut it all of the cube. So it's So we should click on left click and mention hint through all to cut it through all, and then click on the green arrow. Perfect. Now we have this part. Then click save better. And finally, the last part is to do this rectangle or this triangle from this surface to this surface, and I have 12 millimeter width. So in this case, it's better to rotate it like this, rotate it on the from the wheel of the by the wheel of the mouse, rotate it, and then click right click on this face, add normal to, and then click Alt and left arrow, left, 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 left. Okay, we have now this. Now we should draw the triangle. Like we said, this is a 3D triangle. So the first thing to do is to draw the sketch, the triangle sketch. Click here on sketch, sketch. Click here on this to this is the face of the sketch. Then click on line, line. The sketch from this, like you see here, the point, orange point is the edge of the line. I click, then drag here of the second edge here, and drag also here on the third edge here, and then complete and close the triangle in order to do the extrude. Because now it's in blue, we can do the extrude. It's obligatory that all the lines should close in order to have a shaded sketch contour in order to do the 3D. Now it's fully defined. I can click here, escape. Now it's fully defined, perfect. So my extrude here, like we see, is extrude 12 millimeter here. So what to do here? I should do extrude 12 millimeter. Feature, extrude, then rotate by the wheel of the mouse. Then, okay, here, like you see, we have SolidWorks has given me another direction of the extrude. So I don't want this direction. In order to switch the direction, I just click here on this arrow, green, on this black arrow and gray arrow. Click left click just once, a small click. Like you see here, this dimensions has automatically changed. Now I should have the extrude of 12 millimeter. So here I should remove the 28 millimeter and do 12 millimeter, enter, and correct, yes. And we have obtained our final part one, like mentioned here in this drawing. I hope you enjoyed this SolidWorks training session. You can rotate it here like you see by the wheel of the mouse, and we can save it here. Okay. And we can also change the color if you wish to change the color here. Edit appearance. You can click here, for example, choose the color you want. For example, green, yellow, blue. For example, I want to choose green, or yeah, red is better, and rotate it. And I can also here change the ambient here. For example, shadow, and obtain it. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this SolidWorks tutorial training for beginners. It is the first part one. For sure, I will do other videos, part two, part three, and finally we will start do the drawings or the assemblies in order to let you know how to create a machine via SolidWorks. Don't forget, please, to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you and have a nice day.